Hello and welcome to our Brand Coaching Podcast, episode number 44. Today we've got Jane with us, and obviously the co-host is here, that is Mel. So hello Jane and Mel.
Hi.
So obviously with this one, Jane's been, not a client obviously all the way through, but she started with me in 2020 and I think she's had probably a turbulent journey. Obviously starting with me, breaking a finger with me, and then obviously getting cancer as well.
You broke your finger with her?
Yes. we can talk about that if we like, because Chloe's very unsympathetic.
I was, but I instruct people to put the dumbbells down on the knee and then in front of them. Twice I told Jane not to put them at the side.
So basically what happened, I dropped into the side, but there was another set underneath, and my fingers got trapped in between the two. I broke a finger, but I split my skin all the way down pretty much to the bone. So she's laughing while I went into the toilet to go and
Absolute psychopath.
I think it's not that bad.
It's
not that
nervous
bad.
laughter as well.
Yeah.
Can I defend myself there?
But can I just say I finished my session?
I do.
She did, yeah.
No, I did not finish it. Yeah, you carried on, and then I went to the hospital.
Yeah. Dedication to the cause.
Wasn't it bent as well? It was a funny angle.
How did you finish though? Like, surely you didn't have to
We
lift
just
anything.
Wrapped it up.
Carol wrapped it up for me, and then we just carried on. We were doing like pull-ups and all sorts, weren't
Yeah.
Jesus, where are you?
I just stuck my fingers out so they weren't touching anything.
I mean, that's perseverance to a T, that.
She won't let me leave.
No.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Dedicated to the cause. Get your full session.
Stop being a pussy.
Pretty much.
That's my motto. But I did laugh through nerves as well, but I don't know, I think you went to the toilet and then I had to come and get you.
No, Sam, come and go.
I got told off.
You got told off. Sam went, can you look after your client? She's bleeding.
I did show duty of care after that. I looked after her. Took
While
her under my
laughing.
wing.
I realised Claire's nervous laughter the other week. We were trying to put the cooker hood back up and she was nervously laughing as to... No, I was shouting at her saying, why are you laughing? Like, this is really difficult.
It makes me laugh more, though. Honestly, it's like one of my friends / old boss said it's a blessing and a curse because it's always at the most inappropriate times.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
So, yeah. Now you've heard the life story of us all. We will go into it. So, what did you learn? Obviously, you met me in 2020, and obviously we'll go up to now, 2024. What did you learn and take away from starting midway through your journey, and how obviously the journey was and now it started as well?
Well, I think starting Mute was probably like the worst timing on the planet. Like starting middle of January 2020, and then we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
I think it taught me a lot about when we were in lockdown and doing all the Zoom stuff that we've just been talking about, was just keeping on and getting on with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people in lockdown either came out a fat alcoholic or
Yeah.
lost of weight, and then thankfully I was the latter. I managed to avoid the alcoholism, but it made me realise I could do certain things and stick to stuff.
Yeah.
And having like your support all the way through lockdown, because like normally I'd just be like, I can't do this on my own, but you making sure I kept going and stuff like that, and making me realise how much I could do by myself, and I didn't need necessarily someone to keep pushing me, even though that did help in our one-to-one sessions when we did manage to have him.
How many did you actually do, like, Zoom call-wise?
We did we did at least once a week, and sometimes we were doing 2 a week, weren't we?
Yeah, and then we did little classes. I think lockdown one for me, I did the Zoom classes, then I think tried to do group training outdoors. That didn't really work for me.
The one-to-ones outdoors didn't really work, did they?
They were weird. Or when we were allowed to come.
You came to my house a couple of times, which was weird, because she just sat there on my exercise bike shouting at me. Well, can you ever go on this? And she's like running away, shouting at me to get things done.
And then it was more transitioning to online. So I always say, like, your in person is your form and execution, and then everything else, like your nutrition, how you actually achieve your goal, is the outside.
Yeah, I think the dumbbells from death as well were always fun.
Dumbbells from death?
Oh, we just had...
Oh, God, I've still got them. It's like the ones that you put your own plates on and you go, but like the bars on the end were like that long. You could have like took your brain out, never mind your eye. You could like pierce through your skull. They weren't the easiest things to use, but they got us through it.
They did, and I think, like, even though you say it was probably the worst time, it was probably the best time.
I think that shows because it was one of those things. It's like right, it was like, I think we had like 2 days' notice and the gym was shut.
Yeah.
Did you find that actually having like training sessions still continuing, then it give you a sense of structure and stability?
Yeah, I think it helped I was working as well. I think a lot of people who weren't working didn't have that kind of structure, but I was still working 5 days a week. I didn't get furloughed. I didn't get any time off really, so I did have that structure, and I carried on as normal. I just did everything out of my living room. So my living room was basically my office and my gym, and
multi-use
it was like really, really weird. And then that was a bit difficult at the time because like switching off. So then we started doing stuff outside. So it was like I'd go outside on the deck and then try to get the kids to do stuff, which was a bit of a disaster. But I tried to do stuff outside when I could, when it was dry enough. And then we did the hokey pokey for a while with the lockdown situation.
In and out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we can go back to the gym. No, we can't. So that was kind of difficult. And then by the time we came back, it was about building that strength back up because we couldn't really progress that much, could we? Because
we
were very limited by what the kit had. So it was getting back to the gym. It was more like, right, let's try and focus on like building strength and stuff like that. And I think I learned very, very quickly that my execution and my form was shocking.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you were being taught over a screen, weren't you?
But it's like, and I thought my form on certain stuff was quite good because I'd been weightlifting for a while with someone else. But then, like, Chloe was like, no, you don't want to do this, do the other. And it was more focused on what you were doing rather than how heavy you were lifting.
Yeah.
And it was like, make sure you're doing it right and make sure we weren't getting injured. And we've had a couple of injuries, not just a broken finger. I had problems with my hips and stuff like that, didn't I? So.
How did you find like Claire's just mentioned that the training side of it obviously was a little bit tricky, like the actual nutrition and the kind of just the outside of the gym stuff. How did you find that? Because obviously that's part of the coaching package, isn't it?
Yeah. So like the food wise, I kind of already knew what I was doing, but it was like more of that focus of how can you eat better.
Yeah. And a bit more accountability.
More accountability and being shouted at for not having anything green on my plate. Where's your green? I'd send a picture, but where's the green in that? You've got no green. So I got shouted at. So I do eat like bits of green now. I've had spinach with my tea.
Nice, well done.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've had spinach in my tea. It's very nice as well, actually.
I like that though because it's like tiny things at the time, but it's what people actually take away, and you still keep it in your life now. And it's 4 years on. So, and they always say like, over 5 years, can people sustain the habits? And obviously, if you do, that's where you do.
I think that's why it was just like fine tuning what I was actually already doing.
Yeah.
But I needed that focus of someone telling me what to do because even now I wouldn't be able to work out what exercises to do, and that's why I'm on the app now because I need that.
Some structure there.
Yeah, that structure. I think so. When we came back from lockdown, we carried on for probably another 2 years.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like training and stuff like that, and I started getting a lot of tiredness and fatigue and stuff, so we dropped our training sessions down. I think we put that down to perimenopausal stuff, didn't we, because of the stuff that was going on and things like that. And then Chloe was probably one of the only people who actually knew I had biopsies on my tumour. Right. I didn't actually tell anybody. Wow. So my husband knew, Claire knew because I had to tell her because I couldn't come and weightlift because I'd just been stabbed in the boob the day before. And I messaged her and said, I can't come, I've been stabbed in the boob. And she was like, just come anyway, and we just kind of just chilled out on the bikes and had a chat and stuff because we have known Claire for a long time now, so I do like to say we're actually friends, not just psycho trainer and useless client. But it's like Claire was one of the only people who knew what was going on and what was waiting for. So then obviously when I got my diagnosis, I basically had surgery 2 weeks later. Right. So to have breast surgery so quickly, it was like that, I'm going to have to leave you, sorry. And we kind of just drew a line on it and said, we'll work out what I'm going to do later.
Yeah. I liked that you actually did it in person, because I always say this, like...
I broke up with you in person, didn't I?
I like the communication and I like the trust. Like, I don't want to be dumped over text, and I don't want someone to just disappear. Like, it's horrible, that. Yeah. So I always, like, respect someone when they do that.
Yeah, I came to you and said, like, we're going to have to just stop for a while, but we'll sort something out, we'll come back. And then things changed really, really quickly. So it went from my initial diagnosis was I'm having surgery, and then I'm having radiotherapy, that'll be it. So we originally thought it'd be a couple of months and that'd be it. And I was like, right, I'll come back and that'll be fine. And then once they removed the tumour, they found that it was like the highest grade you can have, really, grade 3. It's only 3 grades, but it's the highest one you can have, and it's classified as quite aggressive because it was hormone driven as well. Right. So basically your own body's feeding your cancer. So because of that, it's kind of like, let's mop everything up. So then you had 5 months of chemo.
Right, wow.
So once I'd had my surgery, I did come back to training after 4 or 5 weeks because I got cleared to say I could go. Brought my son with me to unload weights for me. So because I was told I could do legs but nothing over my head and things like that. But I had to do lots of rehab to make sure I could move that arm. Because that kind of surgery, because I had lymph nodes removed under my arm, and then obviously breast surgery, and it kind of pulls all your muscles and does weird shit with you. And then I carried on training. I went to training and realised I had to have chemo, and then I actually I spoke to Claire and I said, you're probably going to see me posting stuff, but I'm going to have to start training with someone else. And I felt horrible. I felt like I was cheating on her. And I said, I'm not coming back to you, but I found this trainer and she was cancer trained, but she actually lives with incurable cancer herself.
Yeah.
So she knows everything
empathises
about it,
with what's
and
going on.
she kind of knows. She was always a personal trainer, and she was diagnosed quite young, but she really advocates for the importance of exercise to do with health, especially if you're living with cancer and stuff like that, and especially if you've got hormone-driven stuff, because what they do, they pump you full of these drugs, and it's like your body just kind of gives up on you a little bit.
I can imagine it's just wiped out from just trying to fight everything that's going on in it.
Yeah, I mean, the chemo drugs just like wipe you out.
Yeah.
Because basically you're filling your body full of poison, because that's why it kills cells, and that's what it's supposed to do, but it kills cells that it's not meant to as well. So you have muscle wastage and things like that, and they tell you basically if you can continue to train as long as you can, you will actually get better outcomes.
Yeah.
So like things like going for walks, weightlifting, all that kind of stuff, they actually do advocate for it even when you're in treatment. If you can do it and you can manage it, do it. And it does help with things like fatigue and stuff like that. So when I was having like really bad days, I'd just go for like a 10-minute walk, but I'd always go for a walk.
Yeah.
And then when I could go to the gym, I'd go to the gym, and I was posting stuff on social media about it, just basically so like, look, I came on Friday and I'm in the gym on Sunday.
I mean, so that's the good advocate anyway, just for the benefits of health and fitness.
Yeah, and it's not. They need to do. The NHS need to do a better job. They need to be, when you're going in there and you're saying, they're telling you that you have to go through all these treatments. They should also be saying to you, but get outside and walk.
Yeah, life doesn't
Go.
stop.
You don't have to go to the gym, but do something that's going to be weight bearing exercise.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they say, like, especially for me now, because I've got, even though I was already perimenopausal, between the chemo and my drugs that I take, my hormone therapy, I have no estrogen whatsoever.
Right.
So full on menopause, it literally happened overnight. I went from all that roller coaster perimenopause. I just went straight off a hill, and you get hit. So while you're having all this treatment, you get hit by that brick as well, which is quite traumatic because you're kind of like, oh great, I've got to do this as well.
Yeah.
So you start with the night sweats and the hot sweats and all this kind of stuff, and it's just absolute nightmare.
Your body was not loving you then at all, was it?
Oh no, it's just like that. You might as well just throw it in the bin. 10 minutes out and shoot me. But it's like there's things that you can do, but I'm not allowed hormone therapy. So everybody goes, oh, menopause, HRT, can't have it.
Right.
Yeah, they should. It is dependent on women, and no one's ever clear about that, because not everybody can.
Not
have
everybody can take it. It doesn't suit everybody either. And everybody goes, oh, just have HRT. And even you said once, can't they just give you a little bit? And I was like, no.
They can do. It's like, obviously for you it wouldn't be, but there's this thing like some people say, no, can't have it at all, but they don't look into it, because I think Emma specialises in that, and she said, it's fine for some, but it's not fine for everyone, and obviously that's for the doctors to explore why, and not just
and there's
yes
certain
or no.
things like, because my cancer was estrogen and progesterone positive. That just basically means that those hormones feed your cancer and make it grow. That's why I can't have HRT. But speaking to my menopause doctor, they've kind of said, well, it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. It's about your quality of life. So there's a big change in that kind of opinion now. So like, it raises your risk of getting cancer again. Right. But if you're absolutely miserable, what's the point?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of that balance. We've worked at a few things, and things are a lot better now. So
just from a timeline perspective, because I'm a sod for a time. So I'm trying to figure out. Obviously, you was with Claire from 2020 through till 21.
22. It's beginning of 22.
And then is that when you got your diagnosis?
Yeah. In February.
And then I guess after, towards the back end of 2022, then you'd started with your coach, or was you training throughout?
So I started with Fran. Back end of April. No, I still had her. So I have to work out how long my hair was. It was before I'd started chemo, so it would have been the beginning of April.
Right, yeah.
And I started chemo at the end of April. I carried on training up until the August, and then the tiredness got too much. It was basically I can either go to the gym and be knackered and not be able to do much else, or I can have my 2 walks a day.
Yeah.
So I picked the outside.
Yeah.
So I stopped training, but I carried on doing my 2 walks a day with my dog.
And how did you find the nutrition side of that, with obviously going through cancer and trying to...
Some of it went by the wayside. I kind of ate what I wanted when I wanted, to a certain extent, because it was nice when you can eat and you can taste stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff tasted weird, so I couldn't eat it. Not as bad. Some people can't have anything unless it's really, really spicy, because they lose all the taste. And occasionally I'd have like really weird taste in my mouth sometimes, so everything tasted weird.
Yeah.
And like textures would get a little bit strange sometimes.
What was your go-to kind of meal then during that time?
Corned beef hash of all things.
Really?
I love corned beef hash. Corned beef hash with brown sauce. Corned beef hash with brown sauce.
No,
it's
I
fair.
just call it. I'm not stuck up, but it's just really common counsellor state food.
And that's what's good about it.
I know I have my waffles and bacon every morning, but
No,
I'm here for corned beef hash. I'm here. For
no,
corned
can't be
beef.
fast with brown sauce on.
Yeah, I don't think I'm.
No,
No,
it's good. Is it? Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's like if I wanted a cake, I'd have it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
So what happened then? So from that timeline perspective, so when did you start to feel less like a cancer patient and more like Jane again?
You don't.
Right.
You don't go back. So
Okay.
it's, well, I didn't anyway. And I think the people I've spoke to who've been through the same thing as me or living with cancer, you're not the same person that you were before.
Right.
So I look at pictures of myself and I don't see myself anymore. I don't think that's me. That's someone that's gone.
Mm-hmm. And why is that? Is that just because of everything that you've been through and your headspace is different?
Yeah, it's completely different. It can change you. You never. When you get faced with your own mortality, you can never go back from that because you see things very, very differently, and you kind of go, "This could kill me," and I do have to live with the fact that I'm at high risk of this coming back, and next time it might not be curable. So you kind of that's always in the back of your mind.
I guess in some senses though, like even now, even more so than ever, like it's so important for you to look after yourself and look after your body, and like I suppose like be like you said, your mortality rate's there faced, isn't it? So you kind of only got so. You kind of probably appreciate things a little bit differently than what you would have done before.
It does change the way you look at things, and I'm a lot less hard on myself about stuff, and I say no more to things.
Yeah.
So training at the minute's not great. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit and I'm perfect.
There.
I'm still going.
Yeah.
But like I had that flu thing that was going around. It knocked me down for like 3 weeks because it takes me longer to recover from stuff.
yeah. I mean, it got me.
Still not
obviously,
great.
I've not got a low.
I've still got a bit of a cough from it now, and it's still not. I mean, they're telling me immune system's back, but I think it does take me longer to recover now. Whether that's the treatment and stuff, because that can take 2 years to get it all out your system, or whether that's like being menopausal. I don't know which one it is. It could be either or both. So don't think that helps. It's just floored me. I'm just like so tired. I think I had to have about 2-3 weeks off. So I went back last week.
Fair play to you though, for like keep getting back. Like
I just need to get that consistency, and it's not
even if it's 10-15 do you just do 2 or 3 exercises. Like obviously I don't put a massive amount of training in for you anyway. It's better than nothing, and I think that's people's mentality. They think they have to go to the gym, it has to be an hour, and it has to be fucking PBs everywhere.
I don't think I could do an hour yet.
No, not even mine. I've posted mine. I can do one of my sessions in 35-40 minutes, but I've still had a good session and I've still done something.
Doing that 30-40 minutes, I think it's easier to do.
Yeah, it's not how long you do. It's
it feels less of a big chunk of time that I need to carve out to do it, and I've still got time to do other stuff.
And you've still done it as well, and it's going to help your health anyway. And it's same with the nutrition. Obviously, if your immune system's already lowered, it makes sense to have good nutrition in there as well.
Yeah, so I do need to get better. I do need to lose that weight again.
I don't say a nag, but obviously there is one thing that I say to a lot of people, and what is that? What's my main thing? I'm not anti, but
you're in bloody drinking.
Yes. Because what does that do to your immune system?
Well, it makes you dead fat. It makes me happy. I do like Claire knows, I love my wine and I'll never give it up, and she kind of tried to make me stop drinking completely, and she realised she was onto a losing battle, so she doesn't
But
anymore.
You did, I'm sure it was a few weeks ago, you've got alcohol-free versions.
Yeah, don't try alcohol-free wine, people. It's minging. But like alcohol-free gin's nice.
Yeah. So doing things like that, though,
the Tanqueray one's nice.
It's going to help.
Tastes just like gin.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
I don't think gin tastes a lot of anything though. Like,
of course, if you get the right gin.
I don't like gin. I mean, I'm not a big drinker, am I?
No, it's not really your thing, is it? You like the odd cocktail and
yeah,
stuff.
I've seen both sides, but when obviously health's declining, it like adding alcohol in, like it is a coping mechanism for a lot of people, but obviously it's not helping you in any way, shape or form. So stick to the alcohol free. Well, I put a post about like even I learned like the effects of it and how much it does matter, because it is a carcinogenic as well, isn't it? So
it is, but there's a lot of these things that people claim give you cancer and stuff like that. And I volunteer for a secondary breast cancer charity. And one of the things we advocate for, because I'm doing a patient advocacy program, is do not blame the patient. And it is something that I find quite jarring when people are like, oh, you could get your cancer back. It's like, fuck off.
No, I mean I wouldn't like to think about that.
Yeah, but the thing is, people say stuff like that, and you've got no control. It possibly doesn't help, but if you look at the studies, some studies say it makes absolutely no difference. Some say it does. So there's no real proof that it does.
Yeah.
I'll research it, but
Yeah, there's stuff like I've done quite a bit of research into this kind of stuff because I kind of have to for the charity stuff. But there's a lot of things that people don't realise about this sort of stuff. So that's why we're doing the patient advocacy stuff to educate people about cancer and about the treatments and the way people should be treated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bang on about that.
No.
I'm a polite nutter about it.
Oh no, it's true. It's when you're passionate about something. It's like me when I harp on about stuff, isn't it? So if you're passionate, then you sing it from the rooftop. So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
passion's good in my eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So from again going back to the timeline.
Love the timeline.
Love the timeline.
Draw your pitch if you like now.
So you'd obviously kind of parted ways with the coach that you was using through obviously your treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just down to obviously feeling more fatigued, and did you not go back? Was there a reason why you didn't go back, or?
So with Fran, she's got a lot of other priorities as well. She does a lot of work for other things. So I think a private coaching took a bit of a backseat, and she was having some health issues herself. Okay. So I think her online stuff kind of went by the wayside. She's working with people now, which are a lot more advanced with like secondary cancer and stuff like she gets people walking and stuff like that, right. Walk for a long time and all that kind of stuff. So I think doing her online stuff got a bit harder for her. So it was kind of like a mutual thing of I'm not training much. I'm not training at the minute.
Yeah.
You're dead busy, so let's just not.
Let's leave it there then.
Yeah. So I left it, and I'll be honest with you. I think I went back to training too quickly with Chloe.
Right.
It was in person.
Yes.
Yeah, in person first.
So when was that then? Was that in 2023?
That was no, December 22.
Oh right. Well.
So I'd finished all my treatment the last Friday in October, and then I had November off, and then I said to Claire, I'm going to come back, and it was too soon.
Wow. And how did you know that? Though, was it just not feeling?
I just wasn't in the right headspace for it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it at all, and I wasn't getting any benefit out of it whatsoever, and that's nothing to do with Claire at all.
No.
But it was like I just wasn't getting anything out of it. And I said to Claire, I can't do this. I'm not getting any benefit out of it. I'm actually resenting it. I'm going to hate the gym if I carry on. And that's where I was getting. I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to go and see Chloe, which was not like me. Because it was just too much. Yeah. I think I just put too much in my plate. I'd gone back to work. I was back training with Chloe. I was trying to do all the stuff I used to do, and it was just all a bit too much.
Yeah, trying to pick your old life back up again.
And I learned pretty quickly that I didn't want it back.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped doing that. So I broke up with Chloe again.
No. It's not you, it's me.
It was definitely me that time. And then when you started doing 42 Elite, I don't know how many times you'd done it.
Well, you started 42 Elite.
Were you on the first?
I don't know if it was on the first or the second.
You started it in May.
It was 6th of June. I started it.
And then will be the first one then.
Yeah, so you were on the first intake.
Yeah, so I did that, thinking that this is going to get the habits back and stuff like that. And again, I just wasn't into it.
Oh.
It didn't really work. Said to Claire, it's not.
It made me reframe it a lot though, and to what it is now. Yeah. So things like that, not obviously.
Yeah, your feedback, don't you, and change and adapt.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't there. I kept telling myself I was all right, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
Kept saying, no, I'm fine, I wasn't. So.
Is that from a headspace perspective?
Oh yeah, my head was a mess.
Yeah.
And I kept saying I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, when someone repeats that they're fine, they're normally not.
No.
So.
It was like Chloe was like, "You're right, yeah, I'm fine."
Oh. Yeah, but you should always ask twice. I mean, I think I always know when something's wrong with people, but obviously you don't want to pry and then tip someone over the edge. It's up to them to want to open up, because I don't think I'd have fucking sat and opened up to someone if they just said, how are you?
I don't know, I'm one of those people, if somebody goes, you okay? I'm like, bye!
I think with me it depends who asks as well, and I didn't want to be this boring the cancer bore.
Oh.
You're not. I'm just saying it's a nice thing. It's like but it is something I do talk about quite a lot. But it's part of my life really, and it's this huge thing that happened, and it wasn't actually that long ago really when you think about it. No. So
it's still fresh.
Yeah, it's still quite fresh.
So then you completed the 42 Elite after the 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then where did you kind of feel about like training and stuff then?
I just wasn't into it at all. By the time we got to Christmas, I was just like a raging alcoholic.
Right.
I wasn't really. I was very functional. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was drinking way too much. I was going out doing stuff I shouldn't have been. Only reason I carried on walking is because I'm a great big giant dog.
Yeah.
So you have to walk her. She doesn't give me much choice.
No.
She'll start moaning at me if I don't take her out.
Oh, I feel like she was a godsend though.
She was. I mean, it was a really stupid thing to do, really.
Not get a dog. When did you get her, during lockdown or?
No, after I'd had my second chemo.
All right.
Well, actually, I got it the day before I had I had to have another surgery to have a central line put in because we had a massive debacle at the hospital where we spent 2.5 hours trying to get a vein and failed miserably. So I had to have a central line put in. So I don't know if you've ever seen people who have the ports implant them into your chest.
Right.
I made Claire touch it once and she was like nearly sick.
It's not for me.
It basically sits under your skin. It's
Okay.
just like a big lump. It's
Yeah.
like an extra bit of it feels a bit like a collarbone type lump. And what they do is basically just get the needle and they shove it into that.
Right,
And that's how they
just
give you
almost like a
chemo. And
pin.
it's like, honestly, they're a godsend.
Right.
Because like there's no digging about in your arm for veins. You just basically go,
Straight there.
open your top up, bang, you're done.
Yeah.
And just stick it to your chest and it's so much easier. But I'd already agreed that I was going to adopt my dog. And we were picking up the day before I had that surgery done, which was really interesting timing. But all the way through chemo, we had this new dog and we were looking after her. But yeah, she was great. She made sure I went out every day. She kept me company. We watched Netflix together. And even though she'll sit on the couch and her head goes on my knee, and that's us watching telly.
You were meant to get her and you were meant to meet her.
And she's lovely, isn't she?
Yeah.
I brought her to see you, didn't I?
What's she crossed with? A cross with a husky and something?
She's a Spanish Mastin.
Okay.
And she's crossed with a husky and a lab and a German Shepherd and whatever else
Right, so
is
she's
out
melting.
there.
But
Yeah.
she's quite placid, like she's not a barky.
Oh, she's dead chill. She's dead barky in the house.
But that's to protect her.
Yeah,
isn't
she's
it?
very protective, and then she gets a bit funny with some dogs, but she's all right. Yeah, but it's a really weird timing to go. Hey, let's get a dog.
Sometimes you do that though, because what did I think I bought turtles when my dad died. Like, I don't know what it is with people. Like, they'll always get something. It's normally the most difficult time, but it's sometimes the best thing.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, let's get a dog.
Why not? And she's added to your life.
She has not like some days I'll be like, right, I can only take her out for 10 minutes. So I'll take her out for 10 minutes and still be like, right, you go in the house, I'll take her for a proper walk. But she was always dead patient. She knows she kind of knows when you're not well.
Yeah.
Because she changed, like she's completely different. She comes to come sit next to me,
Oh.
like look at you, going, you all right?
Comforts you. That's
Yeah.
what you need.
Or lick your face. She used to love licking my bald head.
It must have been nice, the texture from
She's still, well, it's like completely smooth.
How was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's not like that. You see people, but you've shaved your head, so you've got a bit of stubble. You have a bit of stubble for a bit, and then it's all gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're completely smooth. And I mean, everything goes.
Really? Wow.
Eyelashes.
I mean, people pay for all these,
eyebrows.
right? Like hair treatments.
I was going to say, does it grow back?
Not all of it properly.
Oh, that'd be great, that.
Like my underarm.
I mean, I'm not.
My underarm never really grew back properly.
I mean, I don't obviously want that to get that result, but it'd be nice not to have shave all the time.
I'll be honest with you, shows were a revelation.
Yeah.
Didn't have to dry my hair.
Yeah.
Step
No
in,
sha-
step out.
no
You lived the
shaving.
life of a man for a little bit.
It was. Men have got it so easy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just get in the shower.
Clean.
It's like just. You could just use one thing all over. You don't have to bother no shaving. It was brilliant. No drying your hair.
Oh, I've seen a picture of you though, like with your hair. Like, did you dye it pink at
I dyed it pink
That
just
was
after.
so cool.
Yeah, I did it. Just it was growing back. It was like it grew back white.
Right.
So I just put pink on it.
It looks
See what
well
looked like.
That. But it's not. It's changing colour now. What is that?
I had more grey before.
Right.
All right, and no grey now.
I've got a bit. I've got a few little strands of grey, and that's it. It's really weird, but it came back really, really curly.
Right.
If you look at pictures when I was in Germany last year, it was like spiral. If I
Okay.
got wet,
It's mad that.
and now the curls have gone,
Right.
disappeared.
You're going through different hairstyles, like as it grows.
Oh, it's insane. I've had about 94 different hairstyles in like 18 months.
Most people just live for that though, don't they? Like to go through
No, it's awful.
different- Is it?
So it's certain like awkward stages when your hair's growing back. It's like sticking at random places, and like you have people like Chloe come up to you and go like this on your neck because she wants to feel what it feels like.
It was dead soft.
It was when we first started growing back. It was like baby hair. It's like really, really soft. But like when it first started growing back, it stuck straight up. And Steve looked at me, and I was driving the car. I was actually going to Salford Riley, and looked at me and went, "You look like a fucking ostrich." And I was like, "Cheers, dude."
Oh.
I'm literally going for a CT scan, and you tell me I look like an ostrich. Thanks.
That's what you want, that kind of humility in your life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it's nice that though, because obviously not pussyfooting around you,
It
making you
doesn't
feel.
need to be all doom and gloom, does it?
No, I mean that some people were like really weird about it. My dad was like dead weird.
Don't know what to say and do.
If he ever made a joke, my dad was like, "It's not funny," and he'd get really all bent
You
out of
made
shape.
jokes though. You're quite dark.
Yeah, I am really, really dark. I've
Yeah.
always had a dark sense of humour anyway. It was like one day I was taking her out for a meal and we'd all got dressed up and my mum was like twitching around, "Are you wearing a wig?" And I was like, "No, I can't be arsed." And I said, "It's raining anyway." I said, "For the first time in ages, I'm going to walk out in the rain and not be pissed off and spend hours doing the hair."
Yeah.
And my dad looked at me and went, "Don't say that, it's not funny." I went,
Right.
What's the coat? It's like, I've not spent hours doing this, have I?
Oh, you could just draw it on Sharpie.
The weird thing is doing your makeup when you're bald.
Why?
Where'd you stop?
Just blend it in.
Because you go to your hairline, don't you? But you've got no hairline, so like you have to kind of like blend it into your head. It's really, you don't think of things like that, like drawing your eyebrows on every day because you look like a freak.
Oh.
Like having no eyelashes and no eyebrows, you look like an alien.
It's that.
I put the eyelashes and the brows.
Yeah, it's
Big
really
on the
weird.
brows.
Yeah, so it was like I'd go out for a walk with the dog and see like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm putting my eyebrows on.
Oh.
because I knew I looked weird, and then I got over myself and stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But you do see people give you like a second look, like.
Yeah.
Where's her eyebrows?
Well, it's like, cause I
Where
just
was
like,
your expression?
No, but it's something that you don't.
you've still got your
realise
bowl,
that-
so that still moves. Like,
Yeah.
but it is really weird when you don't have eyebrows and you've got
Yeah.
no eyelashes and like daft things that nobody ever tells you. But luckily, my friend warned me, like your nose hair goes,
Right. Does it just fall out though?
but you don't notice it. But because you've got no nose hair,
It's not.
no, your nose bleeds. Because anything that irritates your nose, you sneeze and your skin is.
That's mad, that.
Yeah, so like I know, like I freaked out a few people. I'd sneeze and I'd be like, like try and hide it. People like,
You okay?
you all right? I'm like, yeah, fine. Do you need to go to the hospital? I'm like, no, it's a nosebleed, it's fine. But you're bleeding a lot. Yeah, it's fine. It'll stop in a minute. We just get used to it because it was every day.
Yeah.
So you just kind
I
of get
didn't know
used.
that. But
Yeah, you'd lose all your nose. So my friend had warned me who'd had cancer like 7 years before, and she was like, I'm warning you now, nobody warned me, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
She just like sneezed and she went everywhere. She would just make sure you've always got tissues on you. You'd be all right. But there's loads of weird stuff happens to your body, stuff you never want to know about. But, and yet you get like to the point where you have no shame whatsoever because you're constantly getting your tits out.
Yeah.
Because they want to have a good poke and a prod
Yeah.
and have a look at stuff, and your mates want to have a look at your scars, so you show them.
oh,
Because you
I couldn't do that.
nickname your boob Frankenboob, so everyone wants to have a look and see how freaky it is.
Oh.
But yeah, then like the things the nurses ask you every time you go in the hospital to get chemo is like they ask you the weirdest stuff, and it's like you kind of just the first time you go it's like dead embarrassing because you're in a room full of other patients and you're like everybody's listening to me and they're talking about like if I've had a poo and like
There's no airs and graces, I guess.
yeah, and they ask you all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff, all these daft questions. Well, have you got this symptom? Have you got that symptom? They just like it's like a little checklist that they go through everything. So by the time you've been 3 or 4 times, you're just like, oh yeah, can I just tell you this? Is this normal?
Yeah.
And you're telling them all sorts of weird stuff and like, yeah, we don't need to know that.
I don't know. I'd be hard that. I don't think I could just be as open. Just give me the sheet and let me tick it off myself.
But they have to ask you, and you get so used to it. And if there is stuff that you need sorting out, so you'd mention something, and they'd be like, all right, yeah, we can give you something for that, or we can give you that, and you get some great drugs.
Yeah. Because I imagine with stuff like that like that initial like shock wave just must wallop you, but then you're like, I've just got to crack on now.
You do. You just have to get on with it. I think that's part of it. And it's like I know I was this way, and quite a few other people I know who've had breast cancer is exactly the same. It's like you just head down, get on, and you just get on with it. And people are like, "Oh, you're so brave, you're this, that, and the other." And I hate that.
You've no choice. It's
You haven't got a choice. It's like, "Oh, you're
fight
so
or
strong,"
flight.
and it's like, "Well, no, I'm not." It's like people saying to things like, "Oh, you're so strong. If anybody can beat it, you can." You're like, "Fuck off! I'm not doing fuck off. I'm sitting here, and the doctors are doing everything. They're telling me what to do. I'm just cracking on and getting on with it. You just have your head down. You just get on with it, and get on with it, and get on with it. And then the last time you leave the hospital from treatment, like a week later, I was kind of like,
I know.
"What do I do now?" It's like, where's my safety net? Because I was really, like for months I was seeing nurses and doctors every week, and then when I was having radiotherapy, it was like for a month it was every day. Apart from Saturday and Sunday, I was going in and I was seeing nurses and I was seeing doctors every single day for a month, and then there's no one.
You're just like cast out into the open air.
Yeah, it is like you
It's like being set free. Off you go.
No, it's like being abandoned.
Oh.
And you get this sense of like, I'm on my own now, what am I supposed to do? And everything, like the slightest twinge, like, oh, what's that? And you find yourself poking yourself because like, oh, that hurts, so you keep going, oh, is it hurting? Then you make it worse because you're poking and prodding at yourself and things like that. And it's a really weird feeling because you think you'd be glad to see the back of him, and all you want to do is go back and feel safe again because you feel safe.
Yeah.
Oh.
How do you feel now?
Still quite shaky, if I'm being completely honest. I've been doing some group therapy thing. I've been that off, and I've asked them for one-to-one stuff now. So it was useful, but it was too general. So
Yeah.
it was too general. So I think if you have like general anxiety and stuff like that, I think it'd be great for anybody in that situation. And it is a free service that we can offer. So look it up. Wigan Talking Therapies if anybody needs it. They've absolutely, but the group sessions are really, really good. They're just not for me. I need something a bit more.
That's not just for cancer patients.
No, that's for anybody who's had anything with like depression, anxiety. And it teaches you it's CBT basically. It teaches you coping mechanisms about how to deal with like intrusive thoughts and things like that. And they kind of say, do this 6-week programme, but if you need one-to-one, they can refer you for that as well. So I think I need one-to-one more, like very specific, because kind of going to deal with stuff that makes you anxious. Like they talk about coping mechanisms and it's all like being rational based. It's like, well, I'm being rational, so if I've got like bone pain, I need to get that checked. I need to go to hospital. I need an MRI to make sure it's not cancer again. Yeah. So it's like, it's how you deal with that without freaking yourself out, but being freaked out enough to not get complacent. It's a really, you have to get this weird balance. Like you have to be paranoid,
but not overly
paranoid. But it's like all consuming.
Yeah.
But it's like you go for scans and stuff like that, and you're constantly going, when they're going to ring, when they're going to ring, and it's like when they ring, it's like your heart stops because you see the number and you recognise the numbers, and you're like, oh, answer it. Because I've had one of them today from the breast nurse. It was like, because I had a mammogram like the week, and it's like, saw a number. I was like, I know that's Rosie. And I'm like, it's on my phone going, and I'm like, and I picked it up and I'm like, oh, Rosie.
But it was fine.
Yes, all fine. But yeah, just seeing her number, I just kind of go, I know what she's ringing me for.
Because you're always expecting the news that you don't want to hear, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, like, with my first diagnosis, it was kind of like, we're being overly cautious, there's nothing wrong with you, we can't feel anything, because I had ultrasounds and everything, they couldn't say anything, it's only when they had the mammogram that they saw it. So it was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, because you weren't expecting it.
No, because I've been told they thought it was nothing, and it was just,
it was
don't worry about it.
Then, wasn't it?
Yeah, don't worry about it, we can't
It's
say
not
anything.
the first time, it annoys me that, because it isn't the first time they've dismissed people, it's kind of, you have to press them.
No, I wasn't dismissed. They were really good, they just said everything was being done as a precaution.
Right.
They just said, we don't think there's anything there, but as a precaution, we're going to send you for these scans. As a precaution, we're going to give you a mammogram. Right. And nobody expects anything to come back. So when I went back to see the surgeon, when I'd had the diagnosis and went to discuss my surgery, he kind of went, I'm shocked for seeing you. And he said, can I have another feel and everything? It was like, yeah, go on then. By this point, I've been mauled to death by 6 billion people, been stabbed and all sorts. He's like, I still can't feel anything. And he got me and said, yeah, there it is. He said, I'm absolutely stunned. He said, I'm not. He said, it's very rare I'm shocked. He said, but I didn't expect you to come back with this. Right. So he was like dead shocked. He said, I can't feel anything. Even with the ultrasound, he said he could see it then because he knew where it was.
Yeah. Right, okay.
But he said, like, on the ultrasound.
So you have to really, really look to find.
That's why mammograms are better, because it's...
Right, okay.
You see through the layers of muscle, like that.
Yeah, they see through all the... Like, when you see like
muscle
a mammogram
fat.
picture and when you've seen stuff that's on like ultrasound and CT, it's very different. You can see the different quality in images and stuff. But it still was quite small.
Not a P. That's a big P, actually.
This isn't a visual medium, you do know that.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's just holding her finger in a little circle. It was about 2 centimetres. It was a bit bigger than that by the time they removed it.
Yeah.
Right, well.
So it was growing. It was in its prime.
Yes, it was having a good go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't feel it at first, and I think maybe because I knew where it was, maybe I imagined it, but then I could feel it, yeah.
Well, as you just said, you put your arms up and it looked different. You're like, oh, my boob looks weird.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah, we had that conversation.
I was like, oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah, he was like, I'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, this is the other thing as well. People always expect that you feel a lump or you've got a rash or something like that, or you're in pain. With me, it was basically, my husband credits himself with saving my life here because he was
Steve.
Well, Steve. Yeah, it was not a pleasant experience. What he did was he left his shaving mirror on the windowsill right in front of where I weigh myself.
Okay.
So I got on the scales, as you do it naked,
Yeah.
looked down and went, oh, that's a lovely attractive angle of my boobs. Looking up. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute, that looks wrong.
Yeah.
And it just looked wrong, and I was like, that doesn't look right. So I looked in the other mirror and I was like, no, that's not right. And it's like, I hadn't noticed it before, but basically my nipple was pointing down.
Okay.
The way I described it to Claire was it was like Gonzo's nose.
Yeah.
And it was actually starting to invert.
Right.
And that's what was causing the problem. So basically, I don't know why your nipples invert, but that was one of the signs, and they'd gone flat on one side completely. And it was just like really, really weird. So it was like, it's weird that. So I thought, I'll go to the doctors, and she was great, but like, if you... Like they always say check your boobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, anything that looks different, get it checked. And if they don't refer you to the breast clinic, make them.
Yeah.
It's better to be safe.
Yeah. And don't let them tell you you're too young.
No.
I think to be fair though, the hardest bit is actually taking yourself to the doctor thinking that it might be something like that. Like that's probably the hardest bit for a lot of people.
But if it is that, you want to know quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait 6 months to a year, and you have a very different story.
Yeah.
If you leave something like that, you're gonna die anyway.
I think I read.
Sorry, but that if you ignore signs of cancer and you have cancer, it will kill you.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But if you go and find out what it is, you've got a better chance of actually getting a better outcome out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of, I'd put any advice you'd give someone and you think you just rattled it off. As well,
Yeah, it's just, if anything that doesn't feel right, anything that, it's not just your boobs, if like, your bowels are all screwed up and something's, you've got constant pain somewhere, get it checked, because you don't know and it could be something completely benign and perfectly fine, but you're better off finding out.
And even if they give you a no, I'd say go again or go to someone else.
Tell them it's like, if you're in pain or something's just not right, just tell them that it's not right and you want it to be looked at.
Yeah. Just perseverance, isn't it? Pressing on.
Cancer doesn't discriminate. It will get you if you're younger, you're old, or male, female,
it's scary
whatever.
now. It's like 1 in 2 people, isn't it? So
we'll have some kind of cancer. And there's a lot of skin cancer around as well. I know so many people who've had like stuff removed for skin cancer.
Yeah. I know.
Loads.
I never go to the doctors. I need I don't need checkups, but obviously I need a little MOT and that, don't I? So
yeah, and I think they should do more stuff like that. But like they do these over 40 checks now, and all they do is like take some blood off you, tell you you've got high cholesterol. It's like no shit. Tell you've got high cholesterol, like you're overweight, and they do your blood pressure, and that's it. They're not a proper check. They don't give you a full MOT or anything like that.
But they haven't got the resource or the staff anymore. They're already fucking stretched enough, so that'll be why. But you don't know what they miss. I think I just lost faith in them all anyway. So that's
having to fight to get
anything
noticed, to get things done and get sorted, and like even fighting just to get an appointment's aggravating.
Well, unless you ring up at 8 a.m. and then they might not have any anyway, but make sure you get up extra early to ring up.
Yeah.
So
ours uses that app. You just send her a message.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I didn't like that because then I get my bloods done private, but they still didn't give me a conclusive one at the doctor's, so I still need to go into that. But it just over the phone and things like that, it doesn't work for me. Like it should be in person.
No, I think
it's your health.
But especially when it's like your health, and sometimes I think there's certain things that just don't work over the phone.
Yeah.
Because they can't see you.
No,
so you could be sat there with tears streaming down your face, telling them you feel sad, and you've got like crippling depression, but they can't see that you're in floods of tears because you're putting on a good show of it. Because all they've got is your voice.
Yeah.
Or they can't see you've got like a great big thing on your face or whatever, and it's like it's not that bad. Yeah. People downplay stuff though, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I had to go. What did I go? I went to the hospital once because of that abscess under my bum cheek. I mean, this did see me straight away once they looked at it, so it was obviously badly infected, but. They wouldn't. If I'd have rung up, they'd have said, "Don't come in," because it was A&E, and I was seen straight away.
Yeah.
And they had to get it out there and then because it was just a spreading infection. That was fucking horrifically painful. That.
I remember how in pain you actually were.
I cried. I don't cry.
Oh, she was constantly. She just had this like little brim of tears. You see the cartoons? They've got a little wavy one. And she was like, "You all right, Claire?" Yeah, I'm fine.
Honestly, it was the worst pain I'd ever been through, and I'd never wish that
on
anyone.
You couldn't sit down or anything, could you?
No, I couldn't walk, and I thought it's obviously getting worse. But
she was like hobbling around the gym.
Honestly, it started tiny and it just spread, but they put me under local anaesthetic, got it out, and then it was fine then. But then I ended up getting another one a few weeks later, and they're like, "What the fuck's causing it?" But I didn't get an answer, by the way. But yeah,
it's one of those things. Things happen, don't they? But at least you got it sorted.
So yes, I think. Is there anything you'd like to say to anyone out there listening? All two fans, woo!
Not all two fans. Claire can't count.
No, she can't.
It's a well-known fact. Claire can't count.
Any personal trainer and coach probably doesn't count.
No, that's true. No, what I'd say is like, exercise is really, really important no matter how old you are. Got to keep active and stuff like, especially women.
Yeah.
Like weight bearing exercise, stuff like it's good for osteoarthritis, all that kind of stuff, osteoporosis. They actually have proven that now that if you put weight on a bone, it actually impacts it, so that makes it stronger.
Yes.
And even just like walking.
So if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah. So if you don't like going to the gym and stuff like walking, but walk with poles.
Yeah.
I've been Nordic walking. It's great. No, Nordic walking's great.
Yeah.
If you want to give that a go, it's a bit of a laugh. You could probably like pole vault with them. They're that big. But yeah, like walk with poles because that actually puts impact through your arms and stuff.
Yeah, it's like just
that.
being on the cross trainer, isn't it? I guess in some sense.
Even body weight stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's the impact of like your feet or your hands like hitting something. It strengthens your bone and your muscle. So it's really important, especially for the older ladies.
Yeah, I've never broke a bone because obviously I've always trained on.
I've broken loads.
I'm a come full circle.
She's doing well now. She's not broken anything.
I've not broken anything in a good while, actually.
God, touch wood.
Yeah, I've done well, but yeah, no one-to-ones with close, so maybe that's the trick.
Yeah, don't have a one-to-one with me. I'll break your bones. But no, I'm proud that obviously you've done. Well, it's been a fucking big journey, but you've done a full circle and you're back, looking after yourself a little bit more and putting your health first. I think you'll appreciate your health more now, more than ever.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of that. And obviously you're still part of the team, which is nice.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even when I wasn't with you, you've always talked to me anyway.
Yeah.
She's lovely, really. She loves me, really, don't you?
I do. I don't know. I think I'm probably. It's a blessing and a curse, but I'm a bit probably too personal and too emotionally invested at times. But it's still nice to check up on people.
No, we went for a few walks and stuff, didn't we? When I wasn't training with you, so yeah.
That's good. So we will wrap it up there. Obviously, if anyone has got any questions or they want to chat to Jane, you can hit us up on Instagram.
We'll probably add some links that you've just mentioned, Jane, as well, with a few of the. I think you mentioned a few groups.
Mental health.
And all of those things. So. Because I think anybody that either has been on a journey similar or maybe going through something like that, they might be quite useful. So we'll put some of those in the link on Spotify.
So I'll pop the links in the comments box, and you can obviously share this with anyone that it might be helpful with as well. So see you later. Bye.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye.